One fine morning, the engines were getting ready for work. "Isn't it a lovely day?" said Thomas the tank engine.
It is if you want to cook an egg on your boiler.
"What heat?" Gordon huffed. Percy was confused. "Why would I cook on my boiler when I have a hot firebox?"
The only thing that's cooked is your smoke box," snapped James. "He means it's too hot, and he's right."
"I don't mind the heat. A cool drink at the water tower always makes me feel better. I happen to like sunshine." James didn't say anything after that, and Thomas went to fill his tanks with water. Afterwards, he went off to his branch line. Everyone knows Thomas thinks it's the pride of the railway, and he always says so. Later that day, he saw James again. He looked very hot and bothered.
"My passengers won't stop complaining about how hot my coaches are. It's not my fault," grumbled James. "And what about me? My fire's making me hot too."
And James huffed away. "Today is too nice to complain," said Thomas to Edward. "I don't see why James doesn't cheer up." "Every engine has their day, I suppose," Edward smiled. "James just has too much steam in his smoke box," chuckled Thomas. "Maybe tomorrow he'll be able to enjoy the sun." But the next day wasn't sunny. Dark clouds hung overhead. "Driver said it won't storm, but it's gonna be a miserable day," Duck said.
"Not for me. My passengers won't be complaining now. This is going to be a wonderful day," James cheered.
Thomas didn't feel cheery. He felt cold and wet. "I don't care for rain, and neither do Annie and Clarabelle. Edward said every engine has their day," said Thomas sadly. "Maybe you've already had yours," said Percy quietly.
"Huh, silly,"
Gordon muttered. But Thomas was worried. Thomas collected Annie and Clarabelle. They were not pleased with the weather. "Oh, I do hate going out in the rain," said Annie. Clarabelle agreed. "I wish we could just stay in our nice dry shed." "So do I," Thomas said. "But we must keep to schedule." Thomas set off, but the wind and rain made his journey most uncomfortable. By the time he reached the next station, he felt very tired. "At least a nice drink of water will make me feel better," he thought. But he was wrong. "Yesterday's heat dried up our water supply, and our pump is out of order. You'll have to fill up at the next station," said the station master. "What could make this day any worse?" Thomas cried. He soon found out. Halfway to the next station, Thomas ran out of water. "At least James isn't here to see me," Thomas thought wearily. James wanted to tease Thomas, but when he saw how sad he was, he decided to be kind.
"Don't worry, Thomas. It could happen to any engine. You've just had a bad day. And look, the sun's coming out now. I'll help you to the next station."
"Well done, James," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Thank you for being so helpful." He turned to Thomas. "I know you've had a trying day, but you've still made efforts to maintain spirits and be a really useful engine. That's why I'm sending you to the seaside tomorrow on a special." "Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir," Thomas peeped. Thomas filled up with water and was soon on his way home. "You know," said Thomas to Annie and Clarabelle, "I don't think it matters what kind of day it is. What does matter is that we make the most of whatever comes our way. And then that makes us the best that we can be, too."